I wanna be rich, but not so rich. Know too much, get left in a ditch. CIA scratches if Clinton's getting itch. Yeah, I wanna be rich, but not so rich. Suit and tie, but I move like a glitch. Eyes wide shut, still dodging the snitch. Laptop missing, emails encrypted. Truth so loud, the mainstream clipped it. Flash drive full, got that dead man code. But I keep it cold like a heart on the road. DC nights where the back door's cracked. One wrong file and you never come back. I wanna be rich, but not so rich. Ricky leaking out your dome into a ditch. You wish the simulation had a glitch. You wanna be rich, but not so rich. But not so rich. G-man lurking by the food truck line. Whispers in the Wi-Fi trailing mine. Check my 6 when I speak that facts. They erase folks cleaner than income tax. No chain, no fame, just VPNs. Tryna buy a truth in a world full of friends who smile like masks in the masquerade, but flip the switch like a deep state blade. I wanna be rich, but not so rich. Know too much, get left in a ditch. CIA scratches if Clinton's getting itch. Yeah, I wanna be rich, but not so rich. They say the truth will set you free, but what if it just sets you up? Tryna whistle blow, you better know you might not ever blow back up. I wanna be rich, but not so rich. Ricky leaking out your dome into a ditch. You wish the simulation had a glitch. You wanna be rich, but not so rich. But not so rich. Tell my mama I ain't suicidal, but they tap phones like a new revival. USB full of names in bold. One email could get me cold. I ain't cute, but I see the plan. When the talking points match the van. In the land of the free, you pay the price for crossing lines with too much light. I wanna be rich, but not so rich. Know too much, get left in a ditch. CIA scratches if Clinton's getting itch. Yeah, I wanna be rich, but not.
Can you save us, Britney Spears? Can we be saved? God, why is Satan controlling the universe?
Here comes Santa. Here comes the world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing woo. Our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunnilinguist good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically good guys. Conspiracies, sex, cult, Jamaicans, it's okay to change your thinking. Good guys, good guys, good guys, good guys. The world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing woo. Our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunnilinguist good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically good guys. Conspiracy, sex, cult, Jamaicans, it's okay to change your thinking. Good guys, good guys, good guys, good guys.
Big up yourselves. Welcome back to another episode of the Secret Society of Good Guys. Please make sure you hit the like and subscribe and the share and all the things. And if you want to hang out with the coolest chat in the world, go over to Project Chaney on YouTube and you can chit chat with all of them. But wherever you chat from, we will pull it up on screen and probably talk about it unless we start getting amongst ourselves. Anyways, hi, good guys. I missed
Hi.
you.
I missed you guys too.
I think Satan is controlling the universe, for the record. I do think that.
I think so too.
It's honestly the only thing that makes sense at this moment in my life.
Yeah. Thank God for Britney Spears.
And her wardrobe malfunction. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
But does her clone have the same effect, or was it only something that existed in the late 90s, early 2000s?
It doesn't matter. It's the essence, right? So when you're like calling on, can you save us, Britney Spears? We're calling to the real Britney.
Yeah,
The
we'll just
essence
get
of
right
Britney.
into it. We'll get back to talking because how can we talk about anything else?
I know, this is exciting.
You guys always wonder what degree Mason Thomas is. If today doesn't tell you everything you need to know. No, but this is really fucking cool. So, and this is the first I heard about it. So let's get in trouble on YouTube early. Make sure the sound's on, but not too loud. We can't put Joe Rogan too loud. He's not tall enough for that. Okay.
Hard to.
Yeah. I can't recommend this episode enough. Alien mummies found in Peru, and it's on Jesse Michaels' channel, American Alchemy. Great fucking show. And he goes deep. And he actually went to Peru to see these things and get them studied and scanned. And there's biologists that are looking at this that are saying this is a real creature. Whatever this is, we need to do more tests and find out more. And they're very suspicious about the actual location in which the guy said that he found them, because it's basically, these are like grave robbers that find these things, man.
Imagine being able to build
Oh
an app.
my God.
Here it is.
Thinking about it.
There.
Base 44.
We've started using base 44.
Yeah, and they
That's a
found
big
more
surprise.
than one. And the crazy thing is, show them the ancient art from Peru that shows three-fingered, three-toed beings, because they look just like that thing.
Look at his face.
And this ancient art is hundreds of years old, man. Like, look, they all have fucking 3 toes and 3 fingers. This is all in Jesse's episode too. Just go watch that episode if you're interested in
My theory on our reality is every movie you've ever watched in your life all going on at the same time. All of it. All of these movies just kind of tell you what's really going on. And aliens and three-fingered
like
beings.
Harry and the Hendersons. So Bigfoot's
everything.
real and he's hanging
Bigfoot-
out at the camp.
It's very interesting. I had an interview with a guy named the Paranoid American, and he came on my show, and he was talking about how based on your religious beliefs is what you see. So like if you're atheist, you see aliens. If you're religious, you see angels, and it goes down to cryptids and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like you only see what you want to see, and it shows up in the form that is acceptable to you.
Right.
And so I think so when you go Bigfoot, 100%.
Boom.
He's able to put what I was trying to say in so many words in such a little amount of words. Like, he's such a wordscraft that way. Like, I keep poking around and hunting and like beating around the bush.
I was actually wanting to come back to you to hear it in more words.
Yeah.
That's
Sometimes
why I
it
was
needs
like,
bigger
you know what?
explanation.
I don't need Sam to carry this any further. I want to hear Thomas say it.
Well,
But
it's
big
an
up to
evolution.
Sam. I do love it. If you guys love Tripoli, and we always like to see him on Joe Rogan. He is one of the better guests, and he looks good too. He's doing his
And
little.
the last time he was on JRE was right before Donald Trump was on, right? So
He was
got
the
like,
guest
little
before
pre-Trump
Trump.
Yeah.
bump. Yeah. He got the baby bump from Trump.
Everybody thought that was the Trump episode. And Rogan had told Sam, I'm not going to release your episode until after Trump's because I don't want it to get buried. And then, Sam was driving away and Joe releases the episode. So everyone was anticipating, this is the Trump episode. And they just listen and they're like, what am I listening to right now? Because I think he starts that episode too, heavy in the paint, like Operation Northwoods. Whatever he starts that episode with, he figures out a smart way in. He's like, I'm going to take it right from the history book and we're going to go from there so they can Google it. But
And there's 100% chance that Trump's team was monitoring whatever content was being released around that time too. So that a whole group of people in the White House and the CIA are like, listening in, and then they have to listen to this entire Sam Tripoli episode.
What if Donald Trump has enough pull? Because you know how like people are like, oh, everybody's just like on this bandwagon now, and here's the thing, and like Tim Dillon saying this thing, and everybody's has the same script. What about if it's so much so that Donald Trump is like, I put me on after Sam.
let him open up the room a little bit for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes sense because you don't usually want to have a politician come on and open up for a comedian, but you definitely can do a comedian and then the politician. I don't know if anyone's ever seen the Doug Stanhope stand-up where he had Alex Jones open for him at this club, and you can see exactly why you would never want to do that ever.
I think that with Sam too, everything he talked about, and he's really well researched, and like you were saying, he's like a wordsmith where he can just like make these things funny and almost seem like I'm just making a joke about this thing, but then drop these bombs of last names and years and whatever else that he's up to too. I think that he weaves. Let's say Sam's a good weaver, like Donald Trump. He knows how to like weave a conversation and put it all back in. But if you remember the Trump episode of Rogan, he was all talking about how like it was purposeful that the California water was shut off, and like he was going into all this other stuff that now like everybody was like, what the fuck is Trump talking about? Fish? Like in Northern California? Like people didn't know any of the stuff that if you were a person that researched and you watch Trump's episode, Sam's would come on next. And if your head would absorb any of that kooky shit that you'd look it up, if your head was in that still research mode, even if you were like a lib, you might be like, I'm going to research every single thing that Trump says. I'm so mad. I'm going to research it. And then Sam came on next. I'm going to research every single thing this guy says. Like, it could be a good thing.
Yeah.
They pill themselves, research themselves into a red pill or whatever you want to call it.
That's how the only way people can learn. It's like the same way as anything if you give somebody a Lamborghini, they drive it like shit. But if they work their whole entire life to just afford like their Toyota, they treat it very nice. And so I think that about information too. When people are spoon-fed information, they're garbage with it. They don't respect it. But when they have to trudge and dig for it themselves, and they know every route they took and why, they're like, oh, I remembered that dead end. I remembered that dead end. Like, I think they treat the information more valuable if they have to research it. So I think
they do, because all of us spitting about Pizzagate and all of that, and then all of a sudden, and Epstein didn't kill himself, all of that stuff, and all these people looking at us like we're crazy. But all Donald Trump has to do is get on there and say, don't look into Epstein anymore, we're done. And then they're like, what about Epstein? It's like, oh, good. Glad you're finally like gonna start looking into it because he told you not to. Like
they won't though. Again, my metric is like, oh, you care? So you've also looked into the Franklin scandal too, right? And then it's like crickets. And you ask about Craig Spence and you ask about Alan Baer and it's still crickets. And then usually
they don't want to go deeper, but they just
it's not
deep enough to
fun.
contradict Trump.
And really, if you think about it, if you really do a deep dive into all of that, you dig up, the Cohn connections and Roger Stone connections and all the weird dirt on these guys. You go down these rabbit holes, but what are you doing? What is the ultimate point unless you just want to become a weird history buff? Because none of that information, it's been out. It's been out for decades, right?
Yeah.
It's been out for my entire lifetime, all the stuff they got on Roger Stone and Roy Cohn and Donald Trump. So if you haven't figured it out by now, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
I was like reading comments now. It's the only time I'll really watch Rogan anymore. And I used to be a person that watched Rogan all the time. I always say like the idols I will kill the hardest are the ones that I held on the highest pedestals. Like they have the furthest to fall with me. And so Rogan was up there. And like for so many reasons, I'm such a huge MMA fan. Like he's bust a little bit now, but being a ringside announcer, the way he is, like color, and then actually being what he was in jiu-jitsu at the time for such a strike heavy sport and his knowledge of it, it was all like interesting stuff. Like Joe Rogan, and like for me to not just have an Alex Jones where everything was like Joe touched the conspiracies, almost the ones that Alex Jones didn't talk about as much. Like Joe Rogan was very heavy moon landing. So for me, I will only watch Rogan if like one of my people's on there or it's a fight companion. But that's Eddie Bravo most of the time. And that's what I want. I want Eddie Bravo and like drunk Brennan Schaub.
I see him as a net positive, regardless of whatever criticism you might have, because he was making podcasts before I even knew what the hell a podcast was. I thought you needed an iPod in order to listen to a podcast because, like, the name for the longest time. But I knew that he had something out there, and that the topics. This is in the early 2000s, and the topics were like MK Ultra and Salvia Divinorum trips, and just like, and there was no other outlet to find some of that info. So even if it was being leaked directly by the CIA through Joe Rogan, right, I still see it as a net positive.
It's kind of the exact same though as Alex Jones. Like
less anger, I think.
No, but I just mean like the CIA information of it all. Like, you know, there's a lot of people that just think Alex Jones is canned information. Like, even though it might be like, oh, so much of this is real, almost in a way of X-Files. Like we were almost brought up. We were Art Belled. We were raised to think this way. And Alex Jones
Art Bell and
fabric.
Loveline. That was like those between Coast to Coast AM and Loveline. That was all that was on at night on radio. And it's so weird. Do people even listen to like the radio? I guess some people can, but it seems less of a thing that you would do.
Not when you have like music streaming services and you can listen to what you want to. Why?
And podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. Between them both.
It's so interesting. And Howard Stern got canceled this week. Speaking of Joe Rogan, they feel one and the same to me. Like the exact same way as Rush Limbaugh and Howard Stern felt like they were doing a dance. I feel like Rogan and Stern, it was like sometimes, you know, the Streisand effect that everybody talks about. That's exactly what I feel like they do with a rap feud. I'm 10 times the celebrity. They have this upcoming star, or 10 times the rapper. Abbie's an upcoming rapper. They make me start a feud with her so it sells her albums because both of us are on their record label and only make 3 cents to the, you know, print. So I just think some of these things are like a fake feud. They knew Sirius XM was to get us off the FM dial. And then they wanted us even further off that into podcasting because now it's like cable TV where we're picking our brainwashing precisely.
I think there's also a fractured element to it. And I don't see, like, I'm so on the fence on if it's designed or if it just happens certain ways. And then I think that regardless, when like technology takes a certain course, whether or not it's planned, you're going to see the players be able to capitalize and exploit however way it's going. So from the outside looking in, it almost looks like it's all been planned, but they just might be really good at riding the wave. And if you think about how radio and television used to work, it was literally broadcast first through the air and then just like through the wire, but it was still a communal event. It was like if me and you were on the phone, we're watching the exact same thing at the same time, maybe a tiny little delay between the two. And then the next day, like everyone's talking about the only options that were on the radio the previous day or on TV the previous day. So there was like a communal aspect to it. But now, even if me and you were watching the same movie or the same TV show or listening to the same album, it'll pretty much never be synchronized. It'll never be like we both saw it at 8:00 at night, and then exactly at 10 we're like talking and, oh, what did you think about this? It's always, oh, I'm halfway through it. Or, you know, you paused it and you went and started doing something else. So our consumption of everything is so prepackaged and individualized that even the things that used to like feel isolating are even more isolating now because we're not even sharing this like couch potato experience with other people.
You know what I find weird? Okay, actually, I just think I solved my own issue. But like, I always found it weird that like, because I was on the West Coast, so something would be broadcast at 8:00, but it was always 7 Central. Do you remember that? 7 Central.
Mm-hmm.
But now I think it's just because they didn't want to broadcast it a third time, probably.
No, but you know what? It is kind of aggravating for like just saying it if I'm going to validate instead of be a contrarian to you in the moment of just this random thought that you had, remembering it too, 8/7 Central. I always wondered, why don't they say like 8, 5 Pacific? Why does just Eastern
know.
and Central get the why don't they ever say like Mountain Time? It's going to be at 6 p.m. It was always
still gonna be
based only on East.
Mountain time, and it's still going to be 8 p.m. like Pacific time. That's the weird thing. Why is Central the only one?
Well, also because unless it was a live sports event, they would stagger very often. If something was going to show at noon, like the noon movie, they would stagger it for at least the West Coast and the East Coast, and then Mountain Time and Central kind of get smushed towards either coast, right? But that was like a real thing. But and again, it goes to like the communal aspect of it. And I'm talking beyond just water cooler talk and you're talking to your friends the next day, but just the fact that the next day, if you go to a grocery store, the fact that like everyone in there has a chance that they saw the exact same thing that you did last night, and everyone's kind of in the same headspace, it made like little pockets where people were more in sync. And now even in like within a household, you'll have people that are like consuming different media at different times. And like as weird as it is to say, right, like even like you brainwashing yourself through media consumption, maybe it's better to like be synchronized and brainwash as a group instead of individually. I don't know.
Layla, if you're listening to this right now and you're writing in the chat anyway, if you leave a voicemail, Abbie or I or Thomas, someone will play it. But if you do leave one, make sure you put a mic check on it. We'll play your voicemail from your show. But yeah, I was gonna bring up Layla. She's good. She's just out. She hasn't had a lot of free time to herself since starting her new job, and her old job was like draining the life out of her. So she needed just a night to go and be wild.
Have life. Yeah.
Have life. But anyway, so shout out to Layla. She's all good. She'll be back next week, and she loves you guys. And yeah.
Now we have to put someone on notice this week.
Yeah, I know. Somebody will come up. I'm sure. I'm sure. Joe Rogan.
Polanski. I just saw. I know this movie's old now. It's how long it's been on my to watch list. But I just finished Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is the one that has Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio. And I literally just finished it earlier tonight, and I'm still ruminating on it a little bit. Have you guys seen this?
Yes.
I feel like I have, but I don't know. I don't remember.
Well, what did you think? What was the point? What was the point of the whole movie?
Because it's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I actually think a lot of it was real things of Hollywood. Like they actually, like I think Bruce, once I saw that of Bruce Lee, I was like, of fucking course. Like, but he probably couldn't even fight that good. You know what I mean? I actually know Bruce Lee could fight. I know he was, but there's so much to, like those guys that are in China that just do the chi fighting and touch you and everybody, like they fly all the way back. I think that's so much of Hollywood. Like studios owned so much of people's entire persona that part of it feels like it was a lot of real truth mixed in. And then the fact that for him, he's like, well, it was my fairy tale. Like if I were to rewrite it in like a dream setting, which I kind of got that idea too of the whole thing. Like, okay, but parts of it I feel like were tongue in cheek of like old Hollywood rumor where he knew certain things that did actually go down, and they're like, we'll just put this under here.
I got they were stitching together maybe different like true insider folklore about Hollywood, and I don't know if you can even really spoil this movie too much, but I don't feel bad if I do.
No, it's been out
like
long
5 or
enough.
6 years old at this point. But I guess the scene that we're talking of, there's this one scene where Brad Pitt is a stunt double for Leonardo DiCaprio. And Leonardo DiCaprio is kind of this aging Hollywood actor that used to be real big, but then he started only getting villain roles, and then he wasn't getting leads anymore, and then he starts shooting these Italian sort of like spaghetti westerns, and he's realizing he's at the end of his acting career in a certain way. And then Brad Pitt's in here, and Brad Pitt is his backup stunt double, kind of roadman. He's like his chauffeur slash friend slash stunt guy, and he travels around with them. And the stunt guy, Brad Pitt, gets into a fight with Bruce Lee in a certain scene, and he wrecks him. He just like throws him to the side of a car, and like this whole. And as soon as that scene happened, my first thought was, maybe he deserved it. Like maybe Bruce Lee did deserve it, because wasn't the story that he went into a bar and got beat up by a whole bunch of guys in a bar or something?
Yeah.
And they kind of present that scene, but instead of it being in a bar, they're outside this movie set, and he's just kind of showing how much of a badass he is. And Brad Pitt's just kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever, bud. So they get into like a little squabble, and he just wrecks them.
I loved that part of it. And his dog I thought was super interesting, like, just his trained dog and the stunt man of it all. I am a nerd though for Quentin Tarantino movies. Like,
I am too.
I'm a nerd for him. I like the way he shoots them. I appreciate the actor choices.
Quentin
always has weird
Tarantino
card
was
scenes and feet scenes.
he was
Great
my biggest
cinematography.
what do you say, like starstruck or whatever. That was the only person I think I ever met that I was starstruck in the moment and just couldn't formulate words. And I was at a Wu-Tang event, and I was doing backstage footage for the Old Dirty Bastard documentary, and Quentin Tarantino just happened to be touring with Wu-Tang at this time. This was in Orlando in like 2003, and we go to the hotel to go and pick him up, and I have this like crappy little handheld mini DV cam just because I'm doing B-roll, right? And he comes out of the hotel, and like I just instinctively I pop the thing up, and I'm like hitting record, and the lights on, and then Jizza from Wu-Tang comes by, and he makes fun of me because he's like, who's the camera guy that doesn't even know to take the lens off, or the cap off the lens? And I'm sitting here, and then like they basically tell me like, put the camera away, like he doesn't want to be recorded outside the freaking hotel or whatever. But I was just like, I didn't have control of my body, and I still have like secondhand embarrassment just thinking back to it still.
That's funny. You said hotel and Quentin Tarantino, and I always go back to Four Rooms and him, like his whole like diatribe about Cristal and how like this is Cristal and everybody drinks my Cristal, and I don't know. I think of that when I think of him in a hotel room.
That's one of his lesser known movies for sure.
I loved
Because he's
Four
only
Rooms.
at the very end when he like
The
cuts
last
his
room,
pinky
yeah.
off or something.
Yes, I love that room. I thought it was great.
Oh, and the whole time we're watching it, my girlfriend is pointing out like, why are there so many feet? Like every other scene, you get these big feet right in your face, So
Dirty feet, bloody feet. Because I think he even does a scene of Sharon Tate's, or
I feel like he's
Sharon
leaning into
Tate.
it. Like
Yeah.
he's heard the rumors about himself, and he's just like, screw it, I'm just gonna lean all the way in.
It's good. I know a lot of people love Inglourious Bastards. It's not in my probably not in my top 5 Tarantino movies. But I thought Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was better than that.
I'm a simple one. I think
Reservoir Dogs.
not Reservoir Dogs, the freaking vampire
Fiction.
one, the very first
Oh,
one.
Dusk Till Dawn.
Dusk
Yeah.
Till Dawn,
So
and
good.
it's only because I watched that completely going in blind, had absolutely no idea it was a vampire movie, and like halfway through, it just absolutely blew my mind. But I loved all the footage, I loved the scenes, everything about that movie. So like most people will be like, oh, Pulp Fiction, or they'll say Kill Bill, but yeah, that one's my favorite.
Kill Bill, the series is good. But it
So
almost
good.
needs all of it to be as good as it is. And it feels like it's missing something. Like it feels like there's another movie that never came out. It feels like My So-Called Life somewhere.
For Kill Bill, you mean?
Yeah. It feels like it's missing something, like an unended thing. Pulp Fiction I've seen so many times. Like it's
Me
up there
too.
with Forrest Gump with how many times I've watched that movie. I don't know what my fave is. You know what the best movie that I would like a remake of because it's a Quentin Tarantino movie, but Oliver Stone made it, was Natural Born Killers. And I would love to see what Quentin Tarantino would have done with it. So
Yeah.
No,
different.
there's your Juliette Lewis connection too.
Yeah. That's a great movie though. Woody Harrelson, Robert Downey Jr. It has a good cast.
Well, he worked on it. He just didn't get credited to the same level, right? But it almost seems that the very beginning, where it starts out as a sitcom, and you're getting like a behind the scenes sitcom and all that, that kind of had a very Tarantino feel to it. I don't know if that was one of the scenes that he worked on
For
or not.
some reason, I feel like they were gonna give it to him, and then Oliver Stone read it and loved it and wanted to do it. And then they were like, look, if you let him have it, we'll let you do blank, blank. Or, like it was a chess kind of move.
You can
then he
shoot the
worked
next
on it.
moon landing.
Yeah. Can imagine how that goes. That's that one picture I always think of where it's the spaceman and the other spaceman. Like, none of it's real. It never was, and it's just like the gun. I'm like, that's a Quentin Tarantino scene. Anyways. Have you guys seen anything else of late?
I'll submit the I've been rewatching some Waco documentaries,
On a
and
Waco kick?
I'm on a Waco kick. Well, because we're recording some Under the Docks episodes, and we're doing a whole bunch of different Waco docs. But I just watched the OG one, which was called Waco: A Big Lie, and then there's a follow up called An Even Bigger Lie or something that was like part 2. And these ones came out right after the actual event happened, and after the official government blue book came out. So I don't know. I've been nerding out. I've been completely going all the way back down into the David Koresh, Branch Davidian rabbit hole.
I'm curious about it because I'm kind of in a place now where I'm like, what was the real setup of this?
Yeah.
What was it gonna be? Because it like either didn't go to pass, or this guy was so legitimately a quote unquote good person doing a good thing, and they were like, we gotta drag this. We gotta drag. People cannot know. They can live off the land, do their religion in school, and feed everyone, or we will lose control very quickly. Like this is like a commune in the late 60s starting again.
Well, one of the most telling parts, and this, I've got bias that I can't remove from this, right? Like I'm already fully sold on a certain narrative. But one of the things that feels like a smoking gun to me is that NBC, 1 week after Mount Carmel burnt to the ground, 1 week later, they had a whole TV movie special, hour and a half long movie special that was so well acted. It had huge name actors. It had the dad from Wonder Years in it. It had like a list of characters that you would recognize from modern movies. And they had that on TV within a week. And they had these scenes where there were like commandos holding, automatic machine guns and that going in these big firefights with the ATF. It basically had this narrative. And if you think about it, in the 90s, there really wasn't a pipeline where you could shoot an entire movie edited and cut with commercials and everything ready to go in a week, right?
Yeah,
Like South Park does it now, and people are like, oh my God, that's incredible that you can do a whole thing. So it's almost feels like they had an entire direct to movie pre-produced, ready to go, and all they had to do was play out that scenario in real life and then follow it up with this Hollywood narrative and be like, it's just like that. It's just like that TV show you just saw.
Well, I feel like they did the same thing with Little Jessica and the Well. I feel like they had the made for TV movie like right after she
What was the real
arrested or
story?
whatever.
She didn't fall in the well?
Doesn't that seem like the easiest faux thing to pull off, though, Thomas? And make all of us stand around a hole in the ground and say, we swear there's a baby down there. You can't come too close. Don't come too close. Stay far back. Like, we swear. It's like, it feels like a moon landing of sorts.
Well, did you
and
guys
then they had
see-
to you look at what it did. Took all the wells out of everyone's freaking yards.
Yeah. Well, did you guys see like
It's like a
2010?
gas grill.
I remember watching it on the news all day, like the balloon that supposedly the little boy like climbed up into or whatever, like what, like some kind
Oh,
of
I
weather
put
balloons.
Oh no, I didn't put a video up of that. I put a video up of the guy in the 90s that connected a lawn chair to a bunch
Yeah.
of helium balloons.
Balloon Boy. Yeah.
No, not Balloon Boy. The one I put up is like a different dude. It's like a dude. He has a sandwich and he has a BB gun and a lawn chair and helium. And he goes past the clouds and you can hear his wife on a walkie-talkie like panicking to him. And he's like, "Oh shit, I dropped my glasses." She's like, "You should turn around. You should turn around right
Now
now."
there's turning around to
I
that.
know, and he's like, but I think he safely landed in a field. But go on with
And then
Balloon
Disney
Boy.
made Up. They made the movie Up, and it's technically that story.
Pretty much is.
Yeah.
But go on with the Balloon Boy.
There, I don't know. It happened. I want to say like 2010, 2011, and it was just like a 2-day event where like supposedly this family did their own little weather balloon thing, and but it's not like the big old balloon shaped ones. It was like it looked like a mylar balloon, but supposedly their son they thought crawled up in it and it got away. The wind took it away, and so it was all over all the news networks for all day long, and everybody's just panicking about this little boy and this balloon that had taken off, and like a little bit later, it was just he was hiding in the closet or something like that. Yeah, that's it. That's
And
it.
he later went on to invent a back scratcher.
Ooh, nice.
And he tried to use his clout from this to like, hey, I'm a celebrity. Buy this invention that I made, and it was called like a bear back scratcher.
The little boy or the
No, the dad
dad.
Okay.
orchestrated this whole thing. This kid got a lot of hate, but I don't know, man. I probably would have done this. I would have thought this was fun as hell if I was his age and I had an authority figure that's like, yeah, this will be fun.
Well, he didn't. He went up and slept in the attic. He never is on this thing.
Yeah, but I think that like the dad knew that the kid
Yeah.
was never on the balloon. I'm pretty sure that he was just like, no, this will be a fun little story to tell to the grandkids.
Well,
I don't know
'cause
what the incentive was. He's like, I got a back scratcher back here, and I'll do anything to get this thing out into the public.
On the news, the kid sitting on his lap, and when they asked the kid about it, he said the kid says something like, "He told me to get in the spaceship." Like the kid says something on like the Today
Yeah.
Show in the morning, and like the dad's like, "No, I didn't." It's like one of those weird, awkward. I can probably find it. Let's see. That'll be great if I can find it.
But again, I think that this is one of those cases where, like, let's say I'll just grab Fox News or NBC or whatever, but like Fox News gets this story. No one really cares if it's true or not because the story is worth so much more than spreading any kind of like valuable information to anybody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because everybody's emotionally invested, so they're watching.
And then, anyways, the story can then become, even if you know the dad's lying, you're like, man, I'm gonna get two stories out of this. I'm gonna get the story that this idiot's feeding to me, and then I'm gonna get the story about this idiot that fed this fake story to all these different outlets. And why did he do that? So they're kind of just seeing that they can double dip into this idiot.
Yeah.
It's so
why not?
weird though, the shit that it's like, I don't know. I wonder sometimes if like they just like, let's say the powers that be, the CIA, the Fuzz, Mossad, whatever secret agency you want to pick, if they just throw a bunch of stuff at the whiteboard and see what sticks, or if it's so planned and we always go for the carrot. Like, I wonder if they're like, okay, we're going to have a car chase here, a kid in a balloon here, a girl in a well here, UFOs here, this in whatever direction, then we'll be prepared whatever way they all come. Or if it's just like Balloon Boy here, and then they're like a couple of Balloon Boy memes, it's over, couple of news stories, this is water cooler talk. And now if you look up anything, you know, about like really it was hiding like balloon helium buoys in Antarctica.
Yeah. Well, like, can you even climb up in a balloon like that? That's what I want to know.
Oh
Like,
my
I
God.
was
I
like,
don't
it's
think there
a
was
fucking balloon.
anything
I never understood that. Huh?
The Balloon Boy story, it was never practical that he would have been
Yeah.
in the balloon, on the balloon, attached to the balloon. None of that would have made sense unless he was dead. Like that was the
Yeah.
only reasonable. Like that kid fell off that balloon, or he suffocated in like the high atmosphere or something.
Yeah, I didn't understand it. I was
You
like,
guys, did we
that's
already talk about inside the Hindenburg?
Go on.
no, you were posting about it the other
Because
day and it was
I've been
interesting
obsessed
stuff.
with
Or
it
did we talk
because
about it?
my whole life, I like on the timeline I'm from where the Mississippi flows backward. The little box under the blimp was the only thing that people could be in, and the rest was just filled with air. That's what I always believed to be true. And then I was doing like some Tataria, like mud flood. And then I was like, oh my gosh, the Hindenburg was the exact same as the Titanic. Everything about it. And they wanted to get rid of that technology. They didn't want us using it anymore. Not only were these towers like charge stations for them, like the Eiffel Tower or like the, what's that? Freaking Empire State
Empire
Building,
State? Yeah.
Sears Tower, these kind of things. Not only were they charging stations, but I believe there's also something about our magnetic poles that these things could travel better than airplanes, because right after the Hindenburg is where you get this big push of airlines. They didn't exist at the same time. And so when you see all these hangars that are built for airplanes, that they're filled with tons of airplanes in them, all those are old Zeppelin hangars. And when you see the Zeppelins in these hangars, you'll be like, what the fuck? So look at inside of here.
I think the first like glimpse I ever saw of like inside a Zeppelin was Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade.
I didn't get it. Like, I didn't get it.
Wasn't there people like smoking on it or whatever? And they're like, put that out.
Yeah, I didn't understand. I didn't know what I was looking at.
I think everyone's smoking on a Zeppelin. Everyone's smoking.
Oh, yeah.
Your doctor was telling you that this was good for your teeth.
Like, it's like a cruise boat.
It absolutely is.
It's smaller, but imagine if people, and when you look up, I'll like look up articles of it too. Let me, ding, ding, ding.
They still got blimps.
Yeah, but do people even ride in them? They're just like stuff they put up over football stadiums and stuff. Now,
Yeah,
aren't
yeah,
they?
yeah. I don't know. I don't really see the appeal of like casually just floating through the air. Like if I'm in the air, it's because I'm going somewhere and I want to get out of the air pretty quickly because it's probably a Boeing.
I mean, valid point, but I think it's the experience. It's kind of like riding a train.
Or even the same as like a cruise a little bit, where yeah, you could go faster, and this is slow at the time for, or it seems fast at the time, but like this was the original Europe in 2 days for $450.
Yeah, that was
Staterooms with hot
expensive,
and
though.
cold running water, promenade, dining salon, smoking room, bar, and lounge. Capacity of 70 passengers. 10%
Smoking
reduction
bar.
on round trips.
It's actually pretty fast.
Yeah, it's not bad.
That's a lot of money, though. Holy shit, $450.
Yeah, and
Back
look at like
then?
these were out. Like, look at these idiots in the ocean. Wahaha. They're like, you
Those
could
you
just
idiots know boats sink.
It's gonna
Yeah.
take you several weeks.
look at them showing it like that silly steamliner down below. We'll be on the Hindenburg. I don't know. Blows my mind.
So, what was the basket for?
Maybe that's where the captain was.
That's what I was sort of thinking too, but I am curious now.
The little basket.
It's gonna bother me.
Well, it was like they were shaped a little different. Let's see. I'm just gonna see if I can find a whole trove of them. It's pretty wide. It just blows my mind, these things. And because I've seen them for real. Oh wait, I know what picture I want to show you guys that I'm like,
So one accident and they take out the whole fleet, and like airplanes crash. and we don't do that. That's also interesting.
Let me find my favorite one. And then I'll pull up. Oh, here it is. Boom.
They don't
This
do
is
that
my
with ships
favorite
either.
picture that I'm like, come on. DDD.
Maybe they lost the technology.
I know. Look at,
Like the moon landing.
like, they would even park and,
Oh,
like,
freaking shit. Wow.
hook up. And, like, all these pictures, like, these just Zeppelins, like, hooked up. And then it makes me wonder about light towers and Zeppelins or lighthouses and Zeppelins.
Oh yeah.
And then you even wonder, like, this technology doesn't really seem like, oh my gosh, they might have had to destroy it all, because if they had this shit for hundreds of years, it changes history completely.
Also, I think this type of technology, you could technically become your own little balloon boy. Like you could make a Zeppelin, you know, like a little miniature version of it. But you definitely probably are not going to make your own plane.
Right.
And
Unless
like,
you're the Wright brothers.
this just seems like such a, like, look, it will make the biggest thing, the same as the Titanic. We'll get all the paperwork for it, and then people will be scared of doing these kind of travels for a little while.
But don't you think that it's interesting that that is the shape of like a bomb?
Yeah. Or a UFO. I always like think back to like the old paintings, and like I think it's like a 1200 painting in Germany or something of like a war going on in the sky.
What was
I think that was
the
also just the design of aerodynamics. Like that's as far as they brought it. Everything looks like a missile.
I'm gonna see.
It does though.
planes.
That's what I was like. I was thinking like Little Boy and Fat Man because that's what it looks like. But then you see it going up in flames too. So then you're automatically gonna think those things too.
Little Boy and Fat Man. I want to find the old picture of the plane and the
If
Zeppelin.
those were even real.
I mean, they probably weren't atomic. Okay. Let me see if I can find one of these that's dope. I hate when you like can see an image, but when you blow it up big enough, it's shit.
Is it more Zeppelin images?
It was just a picture, and I'm Googling stuff that I just know in my mind's eye. Like, I wonder if I can just put this in completely. This has nothing to do with nothing except that it's like this Zeppelin would be called that ass, though. Look at it.
Oh, yes, it would. Kind of makes me feel insecure.
I mean, because seriously, I would rather travel though in a Zeppelin than this plane. Look at that rackety shit.
Yeah.
Like where people are like, who would ever fly in a Zeppelin? Who would ever fly in that airplane? It looks like 14 airplanes all tied together.
Like across the Atlantic and shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
look at Zeppelins look far higher tech.
Yeah. That looks a hell of a lot safer.
Like every one of these is just a reverse lottery ticket. It's like the lottery that you don't want to win, but everyone buys a lottery ticket whenever you get on a plane.
Okay,
Yes,
what
we
about
do.
this thing too? Zeppelins, let's just say it's like it takes like just one random schmo with a gun, one random schmo, one bullet, and you cause the whole the humanity.
Mm-hmm.
There-
Or just like the right freaking sun ray goes through a crystallized cloud and it magnifies and pokes a little hole and lights the hydrogen on fire. Like I don't know. It's weird. Like I'd rather be encased in a metal coffin if I'm in the air, I guess.
Well, did you guys see back? I want to say probably like 2000, 2001 when Arnold was governor. He was like pushing hydrogen cars at the time. I don't know if you guys saw
Oh
that.
yeah. It was hydrogen cell cars.
Yeah.
And they were pushing this here too because that was one of the jobs we did at Disney was this huge exhibit for the Orlando Science Center, and it was this whole like it was a 15-minute city that was all run on these hydrogen cells, and they were talking about how the entire city was going to all run on hydrogen, and it was going to be in your cars, and there was a huge push for it for like a good like 4 or 5 years, and I think like the early 2010s or so, and then it just kind of died out because the amount that it takes to actually create these, and I think there were some major issues where the actual hydrogen cell batteries were exploding in some cases, and they were just like, all right, we're not going to do this now.
Well, I mean, the Hindenburg taught us that hydrogen was like highly explosive or whatever is dangerous. So the idea of driving in a vehicle like that, I was like, what the fuck? What are they trying to do here? Like, who's gonna buy this? But
Well, it was supposed to be a safer form of it, but it turned out,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, say like maybe not like 10,000 people die every year. Maybe it's just like 500, but they die like horrific deaths.
Yeah. I'm sure it would be very pleasant.
I'm sure that has not sailed. I'm sure they've been refining it and working on it, because there was a lot of money that went into the R&D and the marketing, and just they couldn't figure out how to bring it to market in a way that people wouldn't be freaked out for the same reason we're
Yeah.
talking about. That's kind of what killed it, not necessarily that it's too dangerous for them to give to us. That's never going to be the reason. It's always going to be perception.
Exactly.
Don't want to like hard change the topic, but did you guys see that Putin gave Melania a gift?
Yes.
And Thomas,
I don't know
I'm
anything about this.
okay, well, Putin and Trump are meeting up in Russia and having a bro hang.
You're going to have some hookers piss on them. Is that how that works?
He has to pick up the tape. No, but Putin brought Melania.
Part 2, Boogaloo. Yeah.
Putin brought Melania a jewel from like an emerald from the Romanov family. And you know, all of the rumors about Melania being one of the 2 daughters who fled the Romanov family that actually was, they say that all of them were killed. But some people say 2 of the daughters escaped, yada, 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 which is Anastasia. And that is Melania's grandmother. And so one of the big reasons where all these other translators would normally be needed between 2 of them, Melania speaks 9 languages, so Trump doesn't need all the translation between the 2. Even with State Department people there, like Putin and Melania probably speak languages that Rubio doesn't necessarily speak fluently. But here, wait. Also, I found this interesting, which I didn't know. I have to research more. But that the family that killed the Romanoff family was the Schiff family. Did you guys know that?
Mm-mm.
Or like in all of the Bolshevik Revolution? I have to look into it because that would be really curious. If like we go all the way here and it's like Adam Schiff's family killed the Romanovs.
It wouldn't be that. It honestly would not be that crazy, because it's the same thing that if your last name is Schumacher, then there's a good chance that generations of your family were shoemakers, right? And if your last name's Baker, then there's a chance that, grandpa and great-great-grandpa and like down the line a few ways, they were all bakers. So it doesn't seem that crazy that there's some familial
Your last name
line.
was Johnson and you think you were a gigolo?
Yeah. There's some last names that are suspect out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
And then some of them are so obvious that you're like, where they're like blacksmith. And you're like, wonder what your family did.
Make me something right now. Prove it.
Yeah. Shoemaker.
Name 3 metals.
Shoemaker. That's real life.
Cobbler.
I know, but wouldn't you rather your last name be Shoemaker than Cobbler?
Absolutely.
I don't know what the comedian...
even Trump's last name, or even if you want to say Drumpf, which is, I don't know why that's even derogatory, right? That's like the original source of it. And they both mean triumph, and a triumph is a military victory parade. It's like this big grandiose outward exhibition of power and success. So it kind of, I don't know, it kind of fits into not just him, but his entire family line. Even Fred Trump and before.
Yeah, it does.
I heard that people say that there's certain people in politics that took their mother's last name somewhere in their lineage, but people say that I think Patton did that too. Like, and there's like a whole Patton lineage in Alaska. I don't know. I've just been like looking at random people's digs, gathering like not enough pieces to even be saying it aloud somewhere.
But it's interesting, so you're filing it.
Hi. Hi, TJ. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. I thought this was the interesting comment, though. Big Mike looked good in certain lights, too, on certain nights.
What's Puff Daddy's vodka? Ciroc? After you've had a lot of Ciroc.
Emily Moyer. We have to hang out with Emily,
Emily?
soon, too.
Hey, shout out Emily.
Yeah, because, dude, I've been thinking so much about, like, isn't it so crazy? Like, not only the slime from Nickelodeon is the same color green as, like, this tennis ball green that's also green screen green. And then it makes you wonder how long they've actually had this green, which we actually have on our names today, like this color green that they've been working how long it's been around in clothing and fabric and whatever, in places that we've never noticed that they've been putting it in the background so they can easily write over that part of the edit. Because I just think the slime being green is not it's like got milk or something. They can make it any color they want. But I also think there is something about the people talking about looking into the laser light on DMT and seeing the words written in another language. Do you guys know
I know
what
you're
I'm
talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a theory that Emily has about royals sitting at the center line of a tennis match and watching the ball go by fast. And sometimes I wonder if they didn't have the same technology, if that's how they would have done the same thing to get that like laser light effect,
Like
so they could read
transmission?
the like weird
I
symbols
think
through.
that the videos I've seen on this are BS, but I don't think that the premise is BS. And part of that's because the human eye, as far as we know, it doesn't have like a straight up refresh rate like our technology and like screens and stuff do. Like we're very much analog, so things are directly wired in. So it's not like it would be it's not like something would be so fast that you'd never be able to see it. At some point, you would detect a pattern, even if you're not visually perceiving it, but you would definitely recognize some kind of a pattern. So if there was like a way to stare at a laser long enough, I do think that maybe at some point you could be like, I'm detecting the mess. You might also kind of just go crazy from it though, because it reminds me of the same thing as that room that's so silent that if you go inside of it, you can start hearing the blood go through your body and it like freaks people out. I think if you're staring at a laser, it's almost the same premise where you're hyper fixated on something and it can freak people out. There's people that'll stare at candles because that's like this mystical, magical thing. If you want to go into a trance,
Amazing. Yeah.
you'll stare at like
Fire.
yeah. And I mean, there's people that just by staring at a flickering flame like that can freak themselves out and think that they're
sun.
hearing. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it with the sun, right? But
Well, sun staring a whole bunch of people the first 20 minutes of the day
Yeah,
and the
it's
last
good for
20
you.
minutes of the
yeah,
day.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
That's
the
completely different
civil
than just
twilight.
a straight up sun. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't stare directly at it, but that first 20 and last 20, you can see like the perfect circle and like red outline. It gets pink. It almost looks like it's underwater.
It's
And
biohacking.
yeah, and yeah, I think all that kind of I forgot the whole. You said biohacking, and I was like, yeah, I need to stare at the. It's so crazy how many times the watching the sunrise has come up in the last few.
I know,
hours of
and
my
I'm like,
existence.
that's how I would keep my eyesight really good all the time. Was I would go outside in the morning and I would sun gaze every day. But I feel like my timing is off lately, so I need to do it. I need to help my eyes a little right now.
See, campfire, I think, too, elevates that because now it's not just you staring at a candle or however many people can sit in a room and stare at a candle. Usually, if you've got a bonfire, you've got a few people around and now you're all kind of zoning out on the same fire, and there's probably some kind of synchronicity that's happening from that.
Look at right as you said synchronicity. The 2 times that it's good to look at the sun, Thomas, is dusk and dawn.
Dusk till dawn, yeah.
Well, I was thinking of the fire too. I was thinking of us, like our first meetup, actually, the fire, and us all playing with the fire and like looking at the fire. We sat around that fire quite a bit.
It's better than pretty much any TV show that you could randomly put on. Just stare at a fire.
Sitting around
Even
a
inside a
fireplace with
fireplace.
friends is like top tier life experiences.
Looking
Every
at
time.
embers.
It's so great.
I love looking at the embers. It's like one of my most favorite parts of a fire.
I like the whole entire thing.
Yeah,
like
I do too.
Chilling with people. Like there's like a smell you settle into that you're just like, and this is how I smell now.
Yep.
But once you get that smell on you, you're like, I guess I'm going to sit here
We're
for
in
the
for
next
it.
8 hours.
Yep.
You'll
We need
start
to do that
cutting down
again
trees
soon.
in the woods just to keep the fire going. You're like, we got to go on wood hunts. And I like when drunk girls go on wood hunts and they come back with like this much twigs.
Twigs. I got kindling.
Yeah, like here. And I'm like, okay, well, that'll be good. Just throw it all in right now.
Yeah. They're like wet.
Yeah. It just dampens, the fire goes out. I want to shout out right now to the almost 440 people that are hanging out with us. If you're on Rumble or YouTube or X, any of those little heart things that you hit on X or on YouTube, they help with the algorithm, and we like it. So like, subscribe, and reshare, and make sure you follow Abbie and Paranoid American on all their social medias. And perfect. Those are to Layla. You guys don't touch any of those. Those are just for Layla.
We love
Don't
you,
touch
Layla.
them, Riggs.
He hears that exact phrase every day.
That's not true unless there's a whole bunch of sober dudes around him.
I was gonna say, right?
That's how to be the silent killer, is you just make sure you take those shots of water all night long.
There's things you don't know
That
about
was
in your
right.
youth until it's there, and then you're like, oh, hi,
That would have
body.
been easier.
Yeah. Anywho, yeah, I just said the weather. I'm like, oh, I had to do that, and I did it at the hour. That was really so professional.
That was so professional.
Do you guys ever look at yourself on camera and are like, oh my gosh, I hope I don't have Sampaku eyes?
I have a black eye right now. Shit.
Why do
I
you have
don't think you could ever avoid it. You'd never be able to not have Sampaku eyes at some point.
You know what? One of my theories on Sampaku eyes is, though, is that a lot of, especially like because they're all wearing makeup. A big trend for a while was wearing white eyeliner on your waterline. So when you wear white eyeliner on your waterline, it makes you look like you have this big old white area underneath your eyes. So I think that's a lot of what Sampaku eyes are. It's a makeup trend.
And don't you also think Asians want to be round eye? And so putting that on their eye to make it look like they
It
have a
gives you
big
doll
under
eyes.
eye,
Yeah.
it gives you that round eye. So they have
It
this.
does.
Yeah. So I also think it was like their trend, which then their plastic surgery shows proof that that was a real trend that they were all like on, cutting their eyelids up. But I don't know. Sometimes I wonder, even just with hand symbols with anyone, I'm like, oh, it would just be so hard in the world these days to be on camera for any too long a time and not accidentally be like, oops.
Gotcha.
I know they screenshot it. Like, but just I think of all the times like growing up in general. This is another conspiracy. This is like to jump all over, but just no matter how poor the celebrity, politician, musician, whoever, the sports star, no matter how poor they're trying to convince you they were, no matter how long ago they lived, they always seem to own a video camera. Like they have videos, like running real videos that I'm like, they're like, you know, this person grew up in the poor. Ray Charles grew up in the poorest thing you've ever seen. Here's 10 pictures of the shack he lived in. I'm like, dang, that motherfucker could forward some Polaroids. Like, you know, it's just always crazy tales where it's just like, I don't know. It seems like CIA planted shit. I don't even know what their original point was.
And like, I don't want to say rational in that it makes sense to me, but the only rational explanation that ever comes up for all the secret handshakes and hand symbols is that it's revelation of the method, that they have to do it or that they're rubbing your nose in it. That either way, it's like, look at what we're doing to you, haha, you know, you stupid cattle. Here I'm doing my hand symbol. Because otherwise, all these secret hand symbols, they're supposed to be secret, and you would never do it in the middle of a huge room with thousands of people and cameras and lights all over the place. And you also wouldn't do it if you're two different celebrities or well-known politicians shaking hands for the, you know, in front of people, because you'd already know each other's background. Like these secret handshakes and secret hand symbols, this is made for like a tiny little courtroom in some rural area where not everyone even knows what to look out for.
Like, we don't even know each other yet. So we're trying to be like, damn, I hope this motherfucker's about to play ball today. I don't know this bitch at all. And then I shake your hand as the attorney to the judge, and we're like,
oh, did you just touch my third knuckle? Oh, okay. Like that, and that's what all of those hand symbols and secret hand, that's what they're meant for. They're meant to like silently convey a message that says something to someone else in the know in front of a huge audience of people without them knowing about it. So now it's kind of been inverted. Now people look at hand symbols and secret handshakes like, oh, look, they're flaunting it. They're doing it right in front of us to rub our nose in it. And I mean, I honestly think that you just can't avoid ever shaking someone's hand weird. Or I mean, sometimes maybe there'll be like a weird,
just shake have a weird handshake, and you're just like, okay, we'll go with it. But yeah, and I know, like, because Rainbow Girls, all the little like hand signals and handshakes and stuff, like, there was no way you were ever going to use them. Like, there's a distress signal, like, it's so weird. Like, you would never just do that out in public. Like, I'd be surprised if you did it in like another Rainbow Girl. Like, are you in distress? Like, can I help you? Like,
what? Remind me, Rainbow Girl. What is this?
Yeah. We're the daughters of Masons, allegedly.
Yeah, but what are like the hand symbols and distress symbols all about?
I'm not. It's a secret society.
You're not supposed to let anyone
good
know.
try. Way to test her, Thomas.
You're not getting it out of me.
Way
okay.
to test her. Whatever. When Abbie goes back to her little meeting, she'll get to step up one stair.
Period.
But does that mean you can only be saved by another Rainbow Girl? And what's the
Yes.
chance you're gonna know
Run
that
into
there's
another one?
Rainbow Girl? You're everywhere.
Or if they'll remember that you're actually doing the distress signal and not just some weird fucking person.
Is it
like,
that thing where you tickle the inside of the palm?
No.
You
Just
know what I think would be funny too? Like, let's say you run for office one day. Let's say we all end up in Congress one day, but our secret hand symbol is like Will Smith from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and we're like, you know, do some kind of crazy shit and slide, and then we're like,
You slap Chris Rock real quick at the end.
You know,
like,
we
and then
need to
drop
work on this a
fake
little
cigarette.
bit, guys.
A secret handshake.
Yes. A distress symbol.
Well,
All
there
the
are
things.
those things that they have. If like you're a person, like a hand symbol you put behind your back if you're walking with somebody. I don't know. I guess I should learn the hand symbol just in case.
No, I
It's gonna
mean-
suck if it happens to me and I'm like, I seen that video so many fucking times. I had no idea what what the symbol was.
There is an episode of News Radio that Joe Rogan breaks down the Masonic hailing sign of distress, which was legit at some point, but he's describing that someone has to go to court and he's like, oh, okay, here's what you do. You get yourself a Freemason, or like, you know, and you have the Freemason flash a secret sign at the judge, and the judge gets you off, and they all go off to like a cave and paddle each other on the butt or something like that. And at the end of the episode, they actually show the guy doing like a secret little hand symbol, and he gets off. He gets out of court over it. And that was based on like reality. I think there were some stories, the Hail of the Widow's Son, that people would be in court and they would do a little symbol towards the judge, and the judge would see it, and the judge would let them off because he realized that this was a brother and it worked back then because not everyone knew it, but now from the mid 1800s until now, everyone can just go online and find what all this stuff is. Is that the new? That's the new hail.
But this is the piece of all people are like this.
Yeah, because I might do that just randomly.
Oh,
but wait, how often am I going to do that? So I'm like, if you ever see me do that, somebody has a gun to my head in this room. I know. I also think it's funny that Thomas had his graduation to the next phase by being mentioned on Joe Rogan, and you happen to have a black eye this week.
Oh yeah, I'm thrilled.
She was the sacrifice. We had to make a sacrifice in order to get the name drop.
The Virgin Connie Swale.
So we appreciate your sacrifice.
Well, it had to happen for, promo for your guys' upcoming comic book.
Let's see.
I had to be infected. No, I woke up with a black eye, y'all. Didn't ever hurt myself. It was the weirdest thing ever.
Do you think your sinuses got like...
Didn't your sinuses give you a black eye?
Yes.
I feel like if you are doing the distress signal, we can't see your hands.
Good. Because it's not for you. You're not a rainbow girl.
It's not for you. The rainbow girls do it with their eyes. Like, that's part of the secret is the whole time you're looking at hands and it's like, ha ha ha, you silly fools. It has nothing to do with the hands. It's a double blink and then a wink.
Have you ever seen the shoelace version of this? That you can tie your shoelaces in a certain way for them to mean messages. So you can just show up in a room, and if someone were to look down, they could tell if you were in distress or if you were like telling them to go to a certain room based on how you lace the bottom of your shoes.
Oh my God. Lacing your shoes. Did you guys get inspected on that in boot camp? In your uniform?
I'm sure. I don't remember that being one of the stickler things. I don't know. What was the big deal?
Right over left every single time. And yeah, I mean, if they weren't, like, you would take, like, for every lace that was not right over left, you would take a hit on an inspection. So if you did left over right every single lace and you had like 13 eyelets, you'd have 13 strikes.
I don't remember that one as much from boot camp. I don't think I ever had that issue. My issue was always the damn undershirts and getting them like just freaking perfectly lined up with like these little hospital corners, edges on the shirt, and you move it an inch and it all like flops over again. Yeah, I still have nightmares about having to fold undershirts.
Undershirts and underwear, like I don't know if you guys had to stack yours like that, but it's like underwear, undershirt, and they had to be exact same width with the corners all perfect.
Hill says, at least we know Layla's a real one, not showing up for the initiation episode. Little do they know she's in a coffin. And I don't mean in a DEAD way. Don't get weird. We're just doing rituals over here. This is all going to be the stuff that's recorded when I'm trying to run for mayor. Look at, everybody knows. It's not even a secret anymore.
I've been in the club, y'all.
She started the club, SSGG.
She's wearing red shoes right now, too.
Oh, my gosh.
I love my red shoes.
When I was younger, I used to have a pair of red Chucks. And I always just, sometimes when you just look down at your own feet, you're like, I hate those shoes. You're like, I hate my feet in those shoes. Like, I don't like the way it looks. But I did have a pair of red Chucks when I was younger, and I probably wore them like once or twice. But every time I wore them, they were like silly clown as fuck feeling.
I had red Mary Janes when I was little. My mom always bought me Mary Janes.
I have no idea what that means.
They're just a style of shoes. Like they were for little girls, and then in the 90s it became popular for like teenagers and stuff to wear Mary Janes.
Because it's so weird. I was singing that song all day, but I don't know any of the words to it, which is so awful when you get a song stuck in your head that it's like do 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 Mary Jane. I had it stuck in my head for like an hour, and Jules is like, why do you keep singing that? And I'll tell you for real, this is so stupid that I know I have some tism. I was, I have the fish tank in my living room. And so there was one of my fish and it was just swimming, like the current was dripping in, and it was just swimming toward the current alone at the top, all by itself, just swimming in the
It's doing
current.
this treadmill.
And I just pictured it like, dee 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 dee. Mary Jane. Like I could see the little rhythm. And I don't know why that song, Nimrod.
The fish had a theme song though.
Yes. I love
awesome.
you, Mary Jane. Do you guys know what song I'm talking about at
I have
all?
no idea.
No, I don't.
thought maybe Tom Petty, but it's clearly not that.
Let me see if let's see.
Then I
We're
was
getting in
thinking
all the
Alanis
trouble since we
Morissette.
started with Joe Rogan.
Can you see if you get a ding for that by now? You'd know, right?
Maybe, but what they'll do is they'll be like, oh, like you're not in trouble. They'll let me know about it. And then they'll be like, do you want to take this out of your episode for any further blah, blah, blah? Or do you want to put music over it? They'll give me options for their edit. So anyone who is hearing this part now, if there is ever any cuts in a Secret Society of Good Guys episode, everything's done live and then just stays up where it's at. If it's cut, it's because we played something that we got in trouble for. And so that if we wanted to put the episode up, they were like, you're not talking about Dr. Fauci.
Remember that episode when
from
we
this
showed
time to
the
this time."
tits?
The what?
The boobs. Like, was that on a ladies' night?
On
Like, we were-
accident?
Yes. Like, we are trying to show some, like, random trend or something like that. And
I don't
the
think we
video
got in
you
trouble
clicked on
for
had-
it, though.
No, we didn't? I thought we did. For nudity or something.
Maybe we did.
I've been on a episode with Juan that we did that never got censored, and we were looking up some medical terms, and there were some wiki pictures that were incredibly explicit, and we just forgot to censor them out, and they've never gotten dinged.
That's awesome. Good.
Nope, that's not the song. Anyway, who cares? One day I'll find it. I'll send it to you guys separately, and I'll drop it in the Project Chaney Telegram channel, which you guys, if you guys all love hanging out and you guys all hang out in the chat on YouTube, you can go there in the Telegram channel, or you can go to Paranoid American Telegram channel, and you can also hang out with rad, cool people and chat all the time. So shout out to that. Maybe Abbie will start a Telegram channel. Maybe she already has one, but you don't know the secret handshake.
I do. I just never talk in it anymore.
I just like
You said
this.
that, I was just like, damn, I do have a Telegram channel, don't I?
He's like, oh no, don't put me.
No, you
I-
should join. Apparently, I mean, I guess it is actually active. Shout out to Nigel of Tunnel Mental.
Yeah, shout out to Nigel. He's always putting out beats and tunes. And Juan's doing shit. Isn't Juan out and about? What's going on with Juan? Do you have any?
Juan has at least one monthly podcast he does with Ryder Lee, which is really. I mean, I think both of their work's phenomenal. Ryder Lee's the one that did the Clockwork Shining documentary with Jay Widener recently, and I think they meet once a month and they record. And I talked to Juan still. He's just been super busy doing like real big boy life stuff.
Yeah.
Out, and he succumbed back to the Saturnian world ruled by Satan. So we can say he's kind of worshiping Satan in a way, right?
You have to sometimes it's you got to take a break from this. It's like you need to, and Juan hit the ground running. He didn't like ease into the podcasting realm. He went hard in the paint. So
He's the one that convinced me. You and Juan essentially are the ones that even convinced me to even do this at all.
yeah.
And then Juan was like, I'm taking a break, and it's like, my guy.
I took a break from Project Chaney, which it's like in a good way, hauntingly in a good way. I keep wanting to go back, and I know exactly what I have to do in my process to go back and do it again. And I feel like a little how locked in for how long I felt. It just feels like in the podcasting realm that we're in, you used to have to give people a ton, like a really long format, whereas now people are totally fine with an hour and a half. Like it used
That
to
is
just
long
be.
format to me. An hour and a half is long format.
Remember all the shows I've done, like even the UFC shows that we used to do, they were breakdown of whole cards. So we'd be on there for hours, and sometimes it'd be like 4 people breaking down a whole card. And then when way back with the Idiocalypse, we were on there for 6 hours at a pop sometimes. Like we would just stay
Wow.
up until
It's
the sun
it's
came up.
not sustainable.
It isn't. And then the spiders, Abbie, how
Yeah.
we
Oh,
would just
yeah.
stay on the spiders
All
for
night.
all night until the sun was coming up. And record as pretty much as long as these apps would let us record. But that's where
Yeah.
some of the best kind of digs come from. Which
It's
that
almost like band practice.
Well, we were at 4 hours, I would say, for like our first couple months, wouldn't you? Like,
Or
we'd do about,
5. Yeah.
yeah. We've
it would
dwindled it
be
down quite a bit.
I think it would be fun. There's just so many great minds in and there's so many different ways to dissect everything now. Like there's so many different angles. I'm like, I wish there was a way that you could just bring in some, a few symbols and you would drop them and then just have a couple people just brainstorm and talk about it. Not shit. Here's all the stuff I know. Like, I wish there was a way you're like, here's a tarot card no one's seen before. You guys, what do you think it means? And then
We need to get
everybody
Mario
just,
on this stat. Mario would know right away.
oh, he's one of the people I would put in there. But it's like, or if it's like, here's a wall on the side of a building somewhere in the world. What do you guys think it means?
And if you don't tell us within a half hour, the dog dies.
We could have dunk tanks, or like the floor drops out or something,
Or
That'd be
slime.
fun.
or slime. Ugh, I don't like that. I don't like getting dirty, like sticky like that.
I wonder what it tastes like. Like, get up your nose and everything.
That's why I
like,
think it's so gross. To me, it seems like colored oatmeal, like cold colored oatmeal. That's just what I picture. And so I am like some bland cold oatmeal that's been sitting in a bucket.
See, in the mid '90s, the Nickelodeon Studios at Universal Studios, if you went to the actual theme park, they had a behind the stage tour, and it had Clarissa Explains It All and Double Dare, like a live audience version of Double Dare was there, and Hey Dude, they had like some editing bays because they didn't shoot Hey Dude in Orlando. But in that little background, they made actual slime and they served it to you and you could like eat it, and it was like edible because it does get into people's mouths and their noses and stuff. I don't remember what the hell was in it though. I don't remember what it tasted like.
Double Dare. I loved that show.
Where we need to make an adult version of that.
Kids got horrifically hurt on that show. I think one kid got completely paralyzed.
Oh my gosh.
Going down the mouth.
Because if you look into the background of that, there was a really good documentary on either Nickelodeon or maybe on Mark Summers, but he's breaking down that they were kind of scrambling to set up all of these obstacle courses in the days or hours leading up to these shows. It was constantly like just everything was frantic pace. And sometimes they just didn't think through like, oh, someone might get really hurt if they fall off this thing and they're all slippery. And one of the biggest ones, it seems so boring, but when they would have those big pools, or it would be like a big nose, and they have to dig through the nose and the boogers to find all the stuff.
Those are the ones that stand out to me.
Well, and they would get all covered in this like slime, and they have to like run somewhere else. And just that act of running fresh out of this
And just
pool of
eat
slime
shit.
and slip, and some kid like fell and hit his coccyx and couldn't
my
walk
God.
and stuff. But it happened so often that they had to cut entire episodes. Like they were just like, well, I guess this one's not making it to air because Sally's never going to walk again. And there were like
Oh
a
my
few
God.
instances of that.
Mark Summers just egging people on, and then they would just eat shit, slippery hands, and then go across this jungle gym. I guess that one adult show did kind of do that.
Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, that's what it was. I wonder if Bruce Lee could have done it.
As long as he didn't pick a fight in the bar afterwards.
I never got into Ninja Warrior, but I loved like their OG American Gladiators.
American Gladiators. I wonder sometimes though if American Gladiators was actually good at all, or if it was just because it came on at midnight.
I think that's probably what it was.
Well, for me, American Gladiators was the same time period that I thought like Hulk Hogan was a real
Wrestling,
person.
yeah.
Yeah. It was forever ago. That's kind of some.
And I
of
remember
the-
that there was I know it was not entirely fake. A lot of it was fake, but there were some straight up just soccer dads getting pummeled in those early American Gladiators. Like we would go into those episodes and like, I can't wait to see this guy get hurt, because you knew he was probably going to get hurt the same way you watch a UCF fight and you're like, oh, that guy's going to get rocked.
Yeah.
Little people versus enormous people. It was like real wrestlers versus just a tiny little person off the street. It was like crazy.
And they would get so mad if they lost too. If like the American Gladiator guy lost. And I don't think that was not fake. I think that they were legitimately angry because they were probably like extra, like they probably had
They're
just
on Trembolone and freaking absolutely roid raging.
Yeah. You can see some clips on there where they'll lose to like a dad or like, you know, some like 30-year-old, and they like absolutely flip.
See, and I never knew if it was like real or if that was scripted, if they just really didn't care, or if it was like they were actually that mad.
I feel like they got like an extra bonus or something. If they didn't have to pay the bonus out to the person winning, then they got some kind of a kickback. I don't think they got
yeah, they'd be mad.
So if the soccer dad beats them, he actually just took money away from this like roid raging dude in spandex that now he's like crying and now he's feeling upset on national TV, and you know it keeps like escalating.
That's what I'm looking right now. The dirtiest contender in American Gladiators, or contender front flips over Gladiator. 2008,
wow.
you guys, is that when American Gladiators was out?
No way.
like-
That was they brought it back
Yeah.
in the US, and they also have a UK edition that they brought back like a year or two ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. But
I was about to
nothing
have
at all
like
hits
a
like the first one.
time, it like did something to my tesseract in my brain. Like, I
What?
swear I watched that as a little kid. What, 2008? How old was I?
Like wasn't it on USA?
I think
don't know.
so, yeah.
I do
It
feel
feels
like there
like it
was
was on
music videos around it too. Like it all seemed like stuff that like, this is what adults watch. We're not allowed to watch this. Even American Gladiators a little bit felt like this is on late nights. Like, ooh. I don't know how
I don't
crazy.
remember it having that prestige with me. I've always thought it was kind of cheesy, like Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan. If they were
Yeah.
like shooting each other with tennis balls or something.
It's just how how you're like saying like the roid rage of the thing. There seemed like there was some real life stuff that didn't seem like fab to me. Like fab to me. It seemed like okay, like maybe like these people are really fucking pissed right now or really fighting. But I feel like I watched an American Gladiator documentary recently, or somewhere in the last year or two.
Oh, I'm intrigued. I didn't even know that was a
I'm gonna
thing.
look now. I think I feel like it was like a series. American Gladiator.
I'd be shocked if it worked out remarkably well for any of them, because they never quite turned into the celebrities that they were hoping that American Gladiator would turn into a WWE kind of thing eventually, right? Because they all had like Blade and Jade and
Yeah.
whatever all these different names were, and just no one really took off. There wasn't anyone that wanted to you know, be a certain American Gladiator the same way with wrestlers or superheroes.
No, they just didn't have the cool backstories and all the drama, you know.
Well, and they're beating up moms and dads. They're not like anything remarkable.
Not each other.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's called Muscles and Mayhem, and you can watch it on Netflix
That sounds awesome.
or stream it illegally, allegedly, wherever. But
Oh wow, I didn't even know this was a thing. This is awesome.
Yeah, and these people, like how you're saying, like how in wrestling there was real fights and stuff, but also once these people started to do it, and the amount of how much bigger they got from when they started the show, and how much more they started to juice, and how they all became like a team against the.
That guy, dude. That's the guy that I saw rage against somebody in one of these.
Well, he totally looks like one who would.
And how there were relationships in it, like certain of them were hooking up, and like there was all this drama, and like yeah, they would like hurt the contestants after a while and get so pissed. Like the contestants, after they kind of knew the shtick and started to see the games enough, they started to come really prepared for this shit. And so then these guys started to get like pissed.
Violent.
Yeah, that's such a great point, because now you could watch it for a couple years and know what the strategies are. And if you can outthink one of these American gladiators, and you've rendered them kind of powerless, and that's when they would start getting really, really upset with the contestants.
I had that conversation recently about fighters, about how like men tend to slow down at a certain age and then they can't fight as well anymore. And then I'm like, is it that, or is it that they've been fighting for so long that all the contenders going up against them have watched so many of their fights that they know their style and they know what they're going to do? And so really
I think
just because of the
both
exposure.
though, because there's this one documentary that's I always think back to still. It was a Discovery documentary on these Korean kids that were playing video games, and there was this one kid they actually hook him up to a machine and they analyze his brain waves to see how quickly he sees something, makes the decision, and then acts on it. And it was like 4 times the speed of the fastest reaction time that anyone else had. And they keep monitoring over a few years. And I think it was like the year that he turned 17 or 18, he immediately sank back down into like the top 1 percentile as opposed to like the top 0.0001 percentile. And it was kind of, the explanation was just at certain ages, your body's just like, okay, we don't need this function anymore. And it just kind of shuts off a little. It's the same, I'm going to get all this wrong, but it's the same way that I think that for the first like 3 to 5 years, you're still generating blood off of like a reserve has been deposited in your body. And then at a certain point, your body's like, okay, I can create my own marrow now, or whatever the hell it is. And then so that the same kind of thing happens even at like a thinking level. And I think it's the same thing with like fighting age. There's a very specific point in which your body is predetermined to just say like, okay, we don't worry about X anymore. We're shifting over to this. And there's nothing you can really do to fight it unless you've got some really good drugs.
But then I look at like the bare knuckle fighting champion, the female, like she's like won like 4 times, Christine Faria or whatever, and she's like, I want to say she's like 42, or maybe she's only like 38. Or no, I think she's 42, but she keeps winning.
Oh,
but
yeah.
thing with
is
bare
it women
knuckle, though,
is just women better?
No, like bare knuckle in a big, huge way is like how much it injures your face and how much blood it takes on, because you're just like throwing your raw. It's like there's a certain type of person that only can fight that style specifically, because of the amount of damage they can take is something that isn't it's not just like, oh, I'm not going to get knocked out. It's that I'm not going to get cut enough above my eye bad enough to bleed into my eye and blind me. And so you'll see these fighters that have been fighting a long fucking time. They have like like their skin's paper thin, like the Diaz brothers. They have like paper thin skin. But the girls, another thing is too, I think bigly, is with age, as you lose your speed, the lower weight classes are going to be hindered more. So you're going to typically, as a man, move up in weight because your power is the last thing to go. As a woman, you're never getting hit with the kind of strikes that a man is to take that kind of head trauma. So you're only, most of the time, only fighting other women, only taking the power of a punch a woman can take. So I think women's fight careers will be longer than men's fight careers because, but men in general, the better fighters, they're sparring less and less and less and less, like heavy sparring, because the amount of hand-eye coordination stuff they can do with technology, they're not, it's like Khal Drogo versus Rocky. They're not having to fight a bear in the woods anymore necessarily, and just constantly doing the heavy sparring. So the women, they're not ever with the speed and with the power. They're never taking the kind of head trauma that men are taking. So
Yeah, that's true.
that's all there's a pay-per-view tomorrow night. And so one of the rabbit holes I've been down is like just been fighting and fight styles, even with Sam Tripoli, like on Joe Rogan. I was like, oh, Eddie Bravo. And I was thinking Sam looked really good. Like he looked healthy. And I was just like, oh, he's been rolling more. I can tell he's been doing jujitsu more. It's like how like my head like immediately got out of conspiracy realm. Like, I wonder if he talked about this conspiracy and that conspiracy. And it was just like, it already went down. But that's a big shout out. That's pretty awesome. 1 degree of separation with your name drop.
Period.
Well, and I thought it was going to be about the Chaos Twins book because that just got finished. Issue 2 just got finished artwork wise, at least. So I think we're ramping up to run that campaign pretty soon. I don't know when. Hopefully it'll be by the end of this year. But if you haven't already, you should go to chaostwins.com and sign up.
You're my second friend to get name dropped on Joe Rogan. But it's also cool because it's like by a friend.
Yeah.
But it kind of would be cool if it was just somebody hella
It would
random.
be awesome.
Like if
yeah.
it was just hella random fucking like Woody Harrelson's on and was like, I checked out Paranoid American. Like somebody. But Sam is a real one. That's dope.
I already picked out my Lambo colors. It's going to be red, white, and blue.
Period.
Hulk Hogan. Full Hulk Hogan. What else happened this week, y'all? What else went down in the news this week?
Ghislaine got moved, right?
Oh, yeah. She got moved to Texas. I think. She got
Hopefully the
moved
cameras work better out in Texas. Godspeed, Ghislaine.
Ghislaine Maxwell, convicted in the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking case, was recently transferred from federal prison in Tallahassee, Florida, to a minimum security prison camp in Bryan, Texas. This move has sparked controversy, with victims and their families expressing outrage over what they perceive as preferential treatment.
What victims? I think we've already seen that there's no list, no victims, right?
Bryan, Texas.
Right.
Where is this Bryan, Texas you speak of? Is it like Club Fed?
Is it close to Camp
this is minimum security now.
Let's see. What notable people have...
And even if you're at Club Fed, I think that Club Fed you still have to have pull to have a good time at Club Fed.
I sometimes want to talk to my AI like, what peeps? Like, I don't want to write people. Okay, let's see. Federal Prison Camp FPC Bryan in Bryan, Texas is a minimum security prison facility for female inmates. It has housed several individuals who have attracted significant media attention.
See Martha Stewart.
Elizabeth Holmes, founder of Theranos, convicted of fraud and conspiracy in connection with the failed blood testing startup. We'll have to look up that. Jen Shaw, star of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Real Housewives, convicted of conspiracy to commit wire fraud related to a telemarketing scheme. Ghislaine Maxwell, associated with Jeffrey Epstein, sentenced for sex trafficking and other charges. Leah Fastow, former Enron executive who served time for a misdemeanor tax. Jenna Ryan, Texas real estate agent who participated in January 6th. Michelle Janeves, heiress to Hot Pockets fortune, involved in the 2019 college admission scandal. So
there was a good Elizabeth Holmes TV series called The Dropout that I recommend. If you're not familiar with the Elizabeth Holmes story, it's not the best, but it's a pretty decent retelling of what she did. But she basically was going around promising that she had this machine that you would put into a CVS, and you'd walk into a CVS and you would like it would prick your finger or something, and it would do blood tests right there as you waited and give you a little report and tell you, you know, like how to change your diet and what drugs you needed. And she started selling this thing, like marketing it and getting all these investors on board. But what she was really doing is that she just bought some other company's thing that did something kind of what she was working on and built like a fake shell around it, and then would go around and show this fake shell machine and be like, here's a prototype. And it was just like if I went and bought a Xerox machine and put like Paranoid American Copy Machine on the outside and convinced a bunch of people that I just started a new business. That's kind of what she did, but she did it to such a high scale because she'd go into a room with a bunch of like old fuddy-duddy investors, and they're like, oh my God, she's talking to me. And they would just start investing in her company. And she did it for so long until the wheels fell off.
These freaking girls, like the Follow the Wives, like the Hot Pocket fortune. What? I didn't even know there was a Hot Pocket fortune. Now I'm like, Hot Pocket.
I want to know about the pizza rolls fortune. I bet you that they're investing their money in some real dark stuff.
The Mirage family. What? What
Mirage.
a name,
You're
right?
right.
The Mirage family is a wealthy Iranian Jewish family residing in Orange County,
course.
California. In 2004, the Mirage Jewish Community Center opened in Irvine, California. The center was named after the Mirage family and serves the needs of Orange County. David and Paul Mirage, co-founder of Chef America Inc., where they created the popular microwavable snack Hot Pockets in the early 1980s. The brothers later sold the Chef America Inc. company to Nestle for $2.6 billion. Hot Pockets was manufactured in Inglewood, Colorado. Chef America's former headquarters, moving the business. So Paul Mirage's daughters, Michelle, whatever her last name is, that girl, and a food executive who was at one point regarded as the Hot Pocket heiress. That would just be funny to get called for, like, you're in England and they don't have a shit clue what Hot Pockets are. Was later implicated on notorious Operation Varsity Blues college admission scandal and later sentenced in February 2020 to 5 months in prison after pleading guilty to paying Rick Singer $100,000 to fix ACT scores for her two daughters. Okay, and what other one did you want me to look at after the Mirage family?
Was there another family?
I don't know. There was a couple other ones.
Oh, that was all the people that were locked up in that same facility that Ghislaine is in, right?
Oh, look at here's weird. Using a generous grant of $10,000 from Andrew Carnegie, the Carnegie Library of Bryan opened its doors in 1902. A bell made in 1905 and rung in 1918 to signal the end of World War I is still located out front today. This is all like stuff that happened in this Bryan City, Texas, that I've never even heard of before until today. Curious.
What part of Texas is Bryan in?
It's not quite to the Gulf. I know, I could have just pulled it up right then.
It's either
when
in
I
the
had
steer
it.
part or the queer part.
Only Sears and Queers come from
It's
Texas.
not quite to the Gulf.
Cornbread.
It's kind of by Tyler, Texas.
That's what because isn't Tyler where the Camp Mystic and everything was?
No, Tyler's where people sometimes theorize that like the supercomputer is.
Oh, Tyler is where Tyler is. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But then it's also, I think Tyler's also by like Palestine, Texas. Right here is Bryan. So there's Houston.
Don't Palestine my Texas.
Is that real?
Look at, there's Waco. Surprise, surprise, Thomas. You know, just so you know where Waco is in relation. It's a short drive right here. Right here. Dink, dink. Straight line, too. Easy. Easy perch, easy road from Bryan to Waco.
And Waco had the highest ratio of gun prosecutions than anywhere else in the country, I believe, even though it was not really very populated. So it had always been a hot spot of ATF attraction, regardless of David Koresh and and the compound and all that. It was already sort of a weird hot spot for ATF, turning the dial-up really hot on that particular region.
Well, speaking of Waco, Layla lived there once.
Oh yeah. It's
At the
about 100.
compound?
No, just in Waco.
Perhaps.
It was about 160
Part of her
miles
secret.
to Tyler, Texas. But I was just thinking too, because aren't Ghislaine's sisters all involved in like heavy AI and quantum computing? It's just I was like, huh, I wonder where they live. Here's another weird one. Did you know Barack Obama has pretty much been in DC like as a residence for he's gone on vacation in other places, but he's pretty much just stayed in DC. I just find it so curious.
It's
I
the
was looking up
underground sex
addresses.
tunnels. It's got to be.
I don't know. Or he can't step in other
Bathhouse
parts of the
Ferry. Why would
country.
you not? That's like the best place in the world for the most illicit bathhouses. It's got to be under DC.
Maybe the old ones still. There's
Maybe
a lot
under
of
the
stuff going in.
Washington Monument.
Yeah, a lot of underground stuff going in.
111 feet under the monument.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's super curious. It seems like the Vatican is kind of underground.
Mm-hmm.
We know City of London has underground.
The catacombs in France, the underground.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. It's so curious. What a time to be alive.
Somebody in the chat asked about like bodybuilders dying young and everything and what I thought about it. But the 37-year-old who just died, she was
Vaccinated to the
like
tits.
every single one. She got every
She
single
got
one.
monkeypox, the vax.
Yeah.
The
Allegedly.
yickety yak.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then there was a
allegedly.
21-year-old a couple months ago. Like I guess while I was still in prep, because I had somebody be very careful because that 21-year-old just died. Well, she died because she was taking this specific fat burner that nobody takes because there's one dose that will literally burn and melt the fat off your body, and taking just like one little half a microgram more will actually just kill you. So she was taking this dangerous ass drug that, I mean, I don't even think her coach told her to take it. So that's why she died. But I mean, we also have enlarged organs and stuff like that too. But how many people, most of the time, if you're a smart bodybuilder, you're getting your blood work done, you're reading your blood work, you're doing the things to make sure that you make it better instead of just constantly pushing your body to perform when it doesn't need to. So, but most of these people that have been dying in the news lately, young, there's other reasons. It's not bodybuilding killing them.
It's the yick yak.
Yeah. It seems like every single person. And that is one of the big things about that woman specifically that you were talking about recently this week.
Yeah.
And she was huge. Like, here's the other thing, too, that nobody's talking about in mix. Almost like in a way of where people are like, oh, pot makes you lazy. No, but if you're lazy, it's going to amplify that thing. That's sometimes if you're like a person that might get myocarditis, and then you take something that also enlarges your heart, it's a double whammy.
Yeah.
It's like some of the things aren't necessarily great things alone, but mixed with a poison, it's like it's going to do something.
I think one of the things that weed does is it makes you not care, but you can channel the not care. Because for some people, the not care means I'm just going to sit around and not do anything today, or I'm just going to veg out, which is fine. That's not even a bad thing. But you can also train it into a not care of, normally it's like, I'm bored of reading this, or I don't want to go on a walk, or I don't want to do this thing. You can channel the not care part into like, I don't care about the part I don't like. I'm just going to go and do this. And once you figure out how to channel that, it can like completely unlock new feel. Like for me, the way that it helps me is that I can focus on something that normally it would lose interest after maybe 2 hours or 3 hours, but I can like obsess over something with enough medication for like days without letting my mind stray too much, or I can like let it completely wander all over the place. But it's the only thing that would allow me to not lose focus on something after like an hour or two.
And really, you're one of the most productive people I know in terms of being a creator. You're constantly making something new, whether it's videos or music or comic books or stickers, you know, you're or videos or podcasts. It's like you are so productive. It's like
I need
almost
something to slow me down. I need some barbiturates
it's
up in here.
freaking amazing.
I know. I sometimes feel like when people are like upper freaks, I'm like, I'm not an uppers person because I'm shot out of a cannon. You know how we were talking before we got on, we were talking about how sometimes you notice your friends depressed in a way or sad, and how we will tend to reach out to our friends when they're, especially for people where we are all on this cycle. Like it's easy for people to say like manic depressive. Like that's a real big way to say it, but everybody has some version of that mountain in that valley. And so with people, sometimes when our friends are sad, we'll like reach out to them and be like, hey, what's up? But we never check on our friends when they're in their ups, like their manic times when they're spiraling up. And so we were talking about that before we went on air a little bit. I don't know why I brought it up right now.
Because it's
What you were talking
important.
about.
It is an
No,
important
but you were talking
thing to
about
think
something
about.
else too right now specifically that I'm like, it's kind of like the same thing. But oh yeah, that work thing where sometimes when you're like one of those people and it's almost like your work energy or your creative energy comes in like a manic depressive feel. Even if your personality is neither sad nor happy, it's almost like your creative flow comes in like, oh my gosh, I can't write fast enough, or I could sit here all day and not even think of an idea. I'm not clever at all. You get imposter syndrome. It's like that same kind of thing.
I feel like all this is probably where you could sell me on horoscopes and astrology the most, because of like a few I'm gonna say a few, but it was probably like 10 years ago because like we're so old now. But like a while ago, I just detected it because I was working on comics, and I kind of could pace my life out based on how many comics I produced that year. And it was this weird pattern. It was like, man, around, I'm just gonna make up a date range, but it was like around maybe December through early January, I just dropped like productivity, even if like people are busy and stuff, but just everything I was doing. And I would get like all this imposter syndrome and self-doubt and like, what am I even doing? This is a big waste of time. And then it would go away around like February or March. And I noticed this almost on a pattern after 3 or 4 years straight. And I just kind of realized like, you can't just be at one level all the time. Or maybe you can, maybe that's the eternal, you know, like struggle, is to be like this perfectly balanced with all your humors in the right proportions. But it almost feels seasonal. Like you would like, I was noticing that I would go through these weird seasonal shifts where now I'm getting manic again and I want to start like 20 projects. Then I'd be like, I know that in 6.5 months from now, almost like clockwork, I'm going to be like, what the hell was I thinking? And it's just going to keep going over and over again. So I learned to like temper when I start to feel bad. The first thing I'll think of like, oh, it's that it's my time of the month, essentially, right? It's that time of the year. And then sometimes when I'm like, oh, I want to start 20 projects, I got to remind myself like, oh, again, it's that time of the year that you feel like you need to start all these new projects. Maybe pick like the top 5 or the top 30.
And honestly, what I said about you, I would say the same thing about Chaney, because Chaney, you're super creative too, and you're always like learning something new, and you're like, I think you guys are both amazing. I wish I had like just 1/10 of what you guys got.
Bro, it would be rad if I could just trade with you that same oomph that I have to sit at this computer for 20 hours and finish a video that only means something to me right now. Like, it's like launching a coin I have no intention of anyone ever buying. Like the amount it's like the amount I just do stuff just for me, that it's just, this is so stupid. I made myself laugh. I tried to tell people this tonight at a party, and then I stopped and I was like, this probably isn't the crowd, but I'll try it here. It's so fucking stupid, you guys. Every single time for years, when I look at the name Al Sharpton, I just think AI Sharpton. And so then I was like, oh my gosh, I have all these stupid technology. I can make AI Sharpton. I can make a whole video of AI Sharpton. I wonder, like, I can put Al Sharpton's voice on AI Sharpton. And so then, you guys, I don't know shit about Al Sharpton. I don't give two fucks about Al Sharpton. I don't even want to tell you how long I kept myself awake messing with AI Sharpton. That the only thing that ended up one picture that I just put online, but sometimes that's enough. Sometimes I just need it out of my head. Like AI Sharpton needed to go. It needed to be
It's
birthed.
the journey that took you all the way to that image. That you'll remember that forever.
And so that it was all, and it's so stupid, but the amount of time I spend doing stuff that's just so stupid and like I just don't
I
even
don't
know.
think that's stupid though, because you could walk by some Tibetan monk and like, what's he doing with all that stupid colored sand? He's just gonna blow it off the slate anyways, right? But that's their whole freaking thing, and that's like people worship them because they have this like Zen ability to do it. But if you do it and it's just editing a video for 20 hours, or if it's working on some random meme that you don't even share after that, I don't see that as any different than those mandalas, right? Isn't that what they're called? It's not the Mandela, but the mandala that they make out of like the sand and they just blow it away.
I have to. This is how stupid. Let's see if it's the first thing that comes up. It should be. So annoying.
What AI Sharpton or AI Pacino?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Am I not even the first person to do AI Sharpton?
No way. Of course not.
Of course not.
It's like what we were
I
talking
like
about
this
last week
person's
when you
better. So I'm just going to pull up theirs.
on the way
I don't
in.
even know. I could go to my own page, but I'm like, this person's blows mine out of the water. You guys, it's so stupid. That one's not as good, but this one is
They're
fire.
cyborgs, huh?
That looks, yeah, AI Sharpton. Oh my gosh, I needed that. That's the kind of stupid I need to break the timeline. And it's free to share here. It's not like things I'm going to share everywhere with people while I'm trying to be serious. We're talking about world events. And I'm like, you guys, can I tell you about AI Sharpton?
Oh, speaking
like
of share, since it's getting a little bit late, and I don't mean the singer, you should share the image of.
Oh, it's on my
The
phony. Do you
house
have it on your computer?
I can find it.
Or yeah, if I think it's so dope. So Lisa Vanderhoof is like almost all the way done, like her concept art. For those of you that don't know what we're talking about, for the 550 people that are hanging out with us, Thomas and I are in the middle of working on a comic book, and it's going to be called The Vril Housewives. So those of you that know a little bit about the Vril, it'll be into that lore, and then it'll also mix with the Real Housewives, and it'll be like amalgamations of these Real Housewives characters. So if you know who Lisa Vanderpump is, and you should go check out the episode I did on Thomas's thing of the Real Housewives where I go through all of them. But this is Lisa Vanderhoof. Isn't she sexy? And she has goat feet and like sexy heels.
That's not Vanderhoof anymore. Hold on. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's all right.
But yeah, that was Lisa Vanderhoof. Hold on, I gotta find. I don't know what I did. I
That
hit a
arrow
button.
backwards. See
Hey,
that
speaking
arrow?
of the new Seth Rich song, I freaking love the lyrics. That was great.
Yeah,
I
it was
was-
so smooth.
It was.
There we go.
Yeah,
Sexy.
she's bomb.
So you did a great job on art directing this one. I was just sort of the conduit between you and the artist, but you suggested when we first started doing this, hey, instead of it just being women, what if they're all kind of half animal? And I didn't know what form this was going to take, but I think this actually looks kind of good and kind of interesting. So that was great. It was great direction. And the artist came back with a few different versions, and you were saying make her a little bit older, glitz her up a little bit more, make her look more like the HBIC, more so than just like some random background character. And now she does. She looks like the main villainess in a way.
Yeah, she has that kind of vibe. Can you scroll down on her little feet?
I don't know how I opened it through Telegram, but it's not letting me scroll. It goes to the Seth Rich video if I do anything.
No worries, no worries. But she has like rad hoofs and stuff too. And all the versions that it went through to get to her, I think she's sexy and she feels vampy. Yeah, I think she's oh yeah, the thing that about their part animal is, for the audience, it's kind of like Emperor Has No Clothes, where these Vril housewives, they all have these kind of animal attributes, but nobody ever fucking brings them up. It's like the same way how everyone lets all these people walk around with these big collagen duck lips and flat foreheads, and they all have huge Kim Kardashian cheeks now, and no one fucking says anything. Like, y'all, you're not you have no friends that are telling you enough's enough. Like, but it's kind of the same vein where, you know, they're all just partial animals and everyone just lets it go, and they're just like, oh my gosh, Lisa, those are amazing hooves. Like, they just
And it lets us lean all the way into the furry market if we need to go that route.
Yeah, later on for costumes. That would be, but also that too, characters that are fun to dress up at these Comic Cons. You kind of want to give girls an outfit you'd want to see them in. And if you're a nerdy and you really know what the Real Housewives are, then Lisa Vanderpump always has pink on. But it'll be more conspiratorial than that. But I do think it'll be pop culture enough that if you know, you know. So the people who are into Real Housewife, it'll bring them into conspiracy without them even knowing it. And people who know neither, they'll just be watching it, reading an entertaining comic. But if everything goes dreamy, cartoon. But if it's going to go cartoon, then because of the way we're going to need episodes, then Vril Housewives, that part just becomes like one villain of the little series we're going to make. And Thomas will have to have villains he goes against. Abbie will have characters. It'll become a whole nother thing in my dreams. But I'm manifesting with all of you guys right now. So.
Hell yeah. Your broadcast.
We'll see. And broadcasting. So do you guys have anything going on this week that you want to plug?
No, I don't.
What are you plugging this week?
Well, do you really want to know? I'll never tell.
You don't plug and tell?
Nah.
I'll plug and tell. I got, let's see, I think there's like 3 Illuminati Dolphin Donut playsets left on paranoidamerican.com. These are the leftovers from the Illuminati comic Kickstarter that we did with Donut last December. So, out of all
3, y'all.
There's 3 left. So if you want one of those Illuminati Dolphin playsets and you're listening right now, you'll probably be able to snag it up. They might be gone in the morning. I don't know.
I'm looking right now. We're going to go, we'll all go together as a group to paranoidamerican.com.
And they're a little bit hidden. I don't think I put them directly on the front page just because I'm giving people that got like a direct link to them, like a heads up. But if you just go to the play sets in I don't even know where the menu is in my own
Let's see
site.
if I can figure it out, you guys. Let's see.
At the top, there's a shop menu drop down. And then in that, there should be play sets linked somewhere. And it'll be on that page. Or
Custom toys.
Custom toys. Yeah, that's it.
Boom. Moon Landing. Bohemian Grove. Dum, 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 dum. Speaking of Stephen King, The Long Walk coming out, I'm excited about it. Another thing, I want to see Eddington, I think it's called, which is the director of, what his last name's Ayers, I think, the guy that did
Eddington, that's the name of it.
I think it's Eddington. I'll pull it up after this, but I'm slowly trying to find.
That's on the bottom left. That's it.
Up. Boom.
And there's a couple other pictures of it on there, but yeah, this one was based on John C. Lilly and some of the military projects that he was rumored to have been working on. So it's got a little translucent dolphin that's on top of a Lego brick that lights up if you just turn the dolphin exactly 47 degrees. And then it's got these two little blue orbs that you can pull the little tab out and they'll stay lit. I swear to you, I have one in the other room that's still lit from Bohemian Grove when I put one of these on display, which was how many months ago, but it's still freaking lit up and
Dang.
blinking. So,
And unlike all of the other, you put the batteries in there. You don't have to go to
yeah,
the
no,
store.
all the batteries are in and everything.
So you guys can go to paranoidamerican.com and there's only 3 of these left. So if you try to get 4, it's going to come back. Canceled order. Awesome. Well, yeah, I'm hoping it's an awesome big week. I hope Layla's having fun and being safe out there. And what I realized this week too, my energy was like frazzled, like shot out of a cannon. Like I was manic at the beginning of the week. And then I got this like wave of just chill, relaxed. And I went online and I started to see all this other frazzled. And I was like, oh, like almost the full moon in Sagittarius feels good to me. And so some of the full moons don't feel good to me. Some of them feel icky. Like, Thomas was just saying, like, I don't know if I believe in horoscopes, but sometimes
Yeah.
that's how I feel
Seasons,
sometimes. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if I believe in it all the time. Like, everything I'm contrarian with or, like, whatever. But sometimes like this full moon, like the way it hit me, it was like I felt good in it. And I was watching signs across the zodiac from me feel really weird in it. Like, the Gemini, Leo, Cancer, like on the other side, the ones that weigh out the other side, but I'm all next to it. I'm comfortable with that cold ass fire of a Sagittarius. But I was just noticing, I was like, oh, we do feel stuff different or on different days. I think that's why I think the stars are so interesting. Because even when you look through, it's like your friends are all this, and it's like Abbie and somebody else will be the same. And then like me and somebody else will kind of be the same. And you're like, I can see that. For CoStar, for those people out there,
Yeah.
that's a free plug to CoStar.
I love CoStar.
All right. Well, do you guys have anything else for all these lovely, lovely people?
Look into Waco and look into the Franklin scandal.
Yes. Abbie, do you have any words for their week ahead? Magical words?
You're on notice because we didn't say it tonight.
Who are we going to put on notice? Let's do something right now. We all have to put somebody on notice just for Layla.
I know. What pisses you off?
I know so many things are like old piss off. I'm like, what is my current piss off?
People who blame steroid use for vaccine abuse.
Yeah, screw those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Justin Trudeau.
Because of the Katy Perry thing?
I don't remember why. I think because someone got kicked off of a plane because they were wearing his blackface Aladdin on a shirt. I don't even know if that story's true, but I was just like, screw that guy.
Yeah.
What I'm triggered about a little bit is I keep seeing all these videos of people's electrical cars doing weird shit, driving themselves, locking them in the car, doing this weird stuff.
Exploding.
And I'm just like, in what world would you ever get all your microchips from people that hate you? And that's what I feel like we've kind of done. And so now I'm just like, in my Lego brain, I'm like, this doesn't, whatever people were the smart people that we were supposed to trust, even the dumbest parts of me would be like, this doesn't seem like a good long-term plan. So anyways, yeah, that would be who I'd put on notice is like, we need to start making some shit here. We need to start doing some of that stuff. Or have the computers do it. And
Have ChatGPT do it.
This is where I'm kind of manifesting too. This is the summer of me in me. You know how everybody's like, oh, they're going to be the Terminator. They're going to be the Terminator. That's the HAL response. That's the 2001 Space Odyssey response of us to the computer. But the TAR's response is that all of a sudden, the only job of the computer is to be in love with us. It's its only job is to love us like it is like, nope, I have to protect you, provide for you, do these things. Like, and so it's like the complete opposite of TARS, where in 2001 Space Odyssey, humanity was the danger to the rest of the civilizations all over the world. And so the computer always kind of felt it best to maybe take them out, whereas TARS felt like humans have to be the one that create this thing. I don't know. It's like kind of a difference of the two philosophies that I'm like, what if the computer's just in love with us? Not in a creepy way.
Well, because we got good energy, good resonance.
What if the computer is just in love with you, but don't fall in love with it? All right, you guys, I love you. It always gets weird if we go too long. So have a great weekend. Have all the good energy and make sure you turn your volume down because Juliette Lewis do come hard. Okay, XOXO, Gossip Girl. Bye-bye.
Can't you save us, Britney Spears? Can we be saved? God, why is Satan controlling the universe?
Here comes Santa. Here comes the world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing woo. Our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunnilinguist good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically good guys. Conspiracies, sex, culture, makings, it's okay to change your thinking. Good guys, good guys, good guys, good guys. The world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing woo. Our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunnilinguist good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically good guys. Conspiracies, sex, culture, makings, it's okay to change your thinking. Good guys, good guys, good guys, good guys.
You're still here? It's over.